Hello and welcome back. Let's make sure the tech is working. All right, so let's go ahead, and the movement that we're going to begin with as we're starting our supportive movements for today's overflow practice is we're going to come into an all fours position. And in the all fours position, you want to feel what are your points of contact. Let me actually angle this a little differently. This might be more helpful. Okay, so we want to be able to notice what are our 4 points of contact, or there's actually more. So for me, I feel the tops of my knees, the tops of my feet. I feel my hands. And again, in this position, we're going to have some awareness of a couple different things because today we're in the overflow practices. So we are super specific with our experience. I want to notice which of the points of contact feels the most supportive. So for me, I can feel it is my left palm, the base of my palm. And as I recognize that, I'm resting into that with each exhale. So I'm letting my brain see it, and I'm resting down into it. And then the other thing that I'm making room for is the experience that I am being invited to take action on. So I just began taking action on that. It's crazy because I didn't want to leave it. I was like, no, I've started, I don't want to stop. And again, it's another part of the exercise where you are able to move away from the thing that you're doing, step away, and then step back into it, trusting that you are going to be carried. And so I can feel that intensity in my emotional sensory core. What we're going to do is a yoga move, cat and cow, which is really helping my spine to move in and out of flexion and extension. I'm rounding my back, breathing in that rounded position, and letting myself rest into the support as best I can. And then I'm coming and moving back through to an extended position. Breathing in, exhale, resting into the support. And we're moving very gently. With each movement, I'm trying to get softer and softer, where more of myself is able to rest down into the way that I am supported. And then at the same time, I'm also making room for the aliveness of that invitation that I took action on. So I'm wanting to really make as much room in my system for both experiences. See if you can feel along your spine, along your core, where do you feel tightness? And we want to be softening around those areas. I'm also thinking about my scripture statement and the invitation from today's song. What are the words that stand out that really help me confirm and support me as I'm taking that action today. The song that we're listening to today is Megan Wood's I Believe You, and the scripture is John 6 verse 22 through 24. It's when they are going across to seek Jesus. They're trying to find him. The people who had just been there during the feeding of the fishes and the loaves, this is the next day, and they're trying to find him because he left. How do these scriptures, how does that song relate to you as you are trying to take action on the invitation that is present for you today? And notice what's happening to your point of contact, your point of support. Can you soften, soften, soften more? And we're going to come out of that. And the stretch for today is we're going to tuck our toes under. This is not my most flexible area, but we're tucking our toes under and we are feeling the opening in the bottom of the feet. Now we want to be super gentle with this, so like I cannot go very far down because my feet are not that flexible. So I have to come, okay, here's my range of motion, and then I got to come out of that full range and make some room for my feet to soften. In this position, surprisingly, the place that feels the most connected for me is my left big toe and my left toes. So I want there to be enough softness where the volume of that support is louder than the stretch that I feel. So I got to come out of the stretch enough to let that lead me. So I'm breathing there and I'm exhaling, and I have to let that be what's leading me. I got to soften, soften, soften. And I'm breathing to my feet. And then I'm again bringing in these awarenesses. What is the quality of support? And am I able to rest into it? What is the aliveness that I'm feeling both in the stretch? That's one aliveness. I gotta make room for that. And what is the aliveness that I'm feeling that is connected to the action that I just took? What is that aliveness that I'm feeling that's connected to that action? Can I let all three of those awarenesses, I'm making room for those. Now you're noticing the shape of whatever tightness that you're feeling as you are sitting back. And this is going to be the place that we are bringing the percussion tool. So go ahead and come out of that stretch. We're going to come down, and you want to trace what you felt in your feet or in your hips or your back when you were doing the cat and cow. You're tracing in your body where you felt the most effort, the most tension stored in your body. I really like the word effort because it all is actually effort that is held in my tissues. I've been working really hard, trying really hard, or really overwhelmed. Either way, that's what's stored in our tissues. There's an actual thing that your body's been doing there. And as we are using the percussion, we're breathing slowly to that area. And as we exhale, we're resting into that aliveness. So we're tending to both the feet from the opening stretch of the feet, and we're also going to tend to the spine from the movement that we did from the cat and cow. The spine and the abdomen. And you also want to consider, where did you feel the intensity of the aliveness that you're facing into? For me, I felt that in my core. So I also want to be bringing the percussion to my core. Everything that we're doing, we're making more and more room for the aliveness of the support the divine is giving us to be received and felt, and the aliveness of the challenges that we are walking into today to be seen and felt and cared for. And notice what happens if we just take a few moments. We're going to go back through those movements again so that you can feel what changes after you've been able to tend to it with the percussion, what changes from the first time to the second time. First we begin with our hands and our knees, L4's position. Notice your points of contact. And notice how your point of contact has changed from the first time that you've done it. What feels the most supported now? And you're going to breathe into it. And as you exhale, you're resting down into it. We're going to arch our back, noticing how that has changed. And then we're going to extend and flex. We're looking up. Notice how that has changed. Breathing into it, exhaling out. We're going to stay with this movement and the foot opener throughout the whole practice today. So we're going to keep coming back to this. And we're making room for the experience that you are taking action on. Notice the difference even just through that first round. Go ahead and tuck your toes under, and we're going to come back into that seated toe stretch. Notice the difference that you feel again, even starting here from the first time. Feel the point of contact that feels the most supportive. We're softening around that. We're naming that support. Again, you're thinking about what is my support, and then where is the place where I can feel the aliveness of the thing I'm facing into today. I'm making room for that. Good. And then we're coming out of that and we're moving right into our rest. So you can feel the places in your body that you just offered movement, massage, and a little stretch. Those places now we are going to invite them into an experience of 10 minutes of rest. So go ahead and make your way into a comfortable position, laying down, and we're going to go through 10 minutes of rest. And we're inviting these areas to find their way into being supported and rested. So think about your action that you are taking today, and you feel where the aliveness of that happens in your body. That's the area that you're helping to find rest first. We're invited to take action out of a place of being rested and supported. So let's go ahead and make our way into receiving that. going to take a moment and notice what parts of your system were able to rest. And you're breathing into those areas. And on your exhale, you're seeing if you can experience one more unclenching, one more settling down. So the areas that are open, are you connected to them, and can you invite them into rest? As you move out of the rest position, can you maintain that openness to the best of your capacity? We're helping those areas to feel that they get to move from a place of being open and rested. You can make some notes in your journal on what that felt like. Today we're doing cat-cow, and we're doing a toe open stretch, seated toe stretch. And we're going to keep coming back to that throughout each of the intervals today. All right, I will see you guys in the Rise and Shine practice shortly.